Frank Mir-Brock Lesnar fight is going to answer a lot of questions about both guys.
Brock Lesnar's coming in, and he wants to prove to the world that he is a mixed martial artist and that he belongs in the UFC and that he can come in and beat a former world champion.
Brock Lesnar is a serious athlete. That guy's a real wrestler.
I was a two-time Big Ten champion, one-time runner-up NCAA, and then in 2000 an NCAA champion. When you know and understand the feeling of defeat and you don't like it, that drives you to win.
One of the things I respect about Brock, you know, we said to him, you come into the UFC, you're going to fight real guys in here. You're going to fight real guys. And he wanted that. He said, that's what I want.
If you look at the history of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the dominant fighters have traditionally almost always been wrestlers. And even though Brock Lesnar is coming from this wrestling entertainment background, you can't forget the fact this guy was a real, legit, amateur, competitive wrestler and the best in the country.
So he comes right into the UFC. And his first fight in the UFC is against former world champion Frank Mir.
Frank Mir is in my way. I'm at the national tournament, and it's the first round, baby, and here we go.
I'm not fighting a pro wrestler, I'm fighting a collegiate wrestling champion. Once we're on the ground, even though he's a wrestling champion, wrestling's a whole different sport. Jiu-jitsu, once we hit our backs, is what's the ultimate, you know?
Now he's got a Kimura on that side. Frank Mir is very dangerous off his back. That's actually his best position. That's where he submitted Tim Sylvia. That's where he submitted Pete Williams. He has a very dangerous guard, unlike most heavyweights. So if Lesnar can get Frank Mir on his back, he's got to be very careful. He can get caught with an arm bar, a triangle. He can get his arm broken. He's got to be very careful with Frank Mir's guard.
Frank Mir's submissions are unbelievable. Let's not forget, this is the guy that broke Tim Sylvia's forearm in half in a fight, okay? That's how strong he is, too.
Randy Couture comes in and beats Tim Sylvia, makes him look like an ass. You don't let a 197-pound guy come up at heavyweight and beat you at heavyweight. The UFC heavyweight division is starving for a champion. The people are starving to see, and they want a true heavyweight. I'm going to fight my way to the top and be that guy.
I love the Doc. I love that. I love that he thinks like that. I love that he's passionate about it that way and that he talks. Now he's got to come in and back it up.
If Brock Lesnar can perform in the UFC to the same level that he performed in amateur wrestling, you might see the new archetype of the heavyweight champion, a gigantic, muscular, big-boned, heavyweight dominant champion.
I think Brock Lesnar needs to worry less about what people think about him in the WWE and his reputation, but be more concerned about what's going to happen inside the octagon.
Now he's trying to work it. It is all over!
Brock Lesnar, if given enough time to train, given enough time to prepare, and to acclimate himself to the mixed martial arts game, you're dealing with a serious threat to the title.
At this point now, you know, there's no excuses, there's no explanations. It's either do or die.
He's fired up for this fight. It really is, stylistically in every other way possible. This is a great fight and a very interesting fight. He's training very hard, and the camps that I've heard he's trained with say he's very good. So the question is going to be, can Brock Lesnar really fight?
I'm coming to this fight to win, all right? This isn't some bullshit scheme. This isn't some, you know, hey, let's see if this happens. I'm coming to Frank Mir to beat him, and that's no bullshit.
If he can train to the level that he was training when he was the top amateur heavyweight in the country, and if he can dedicate that athleticism and dedicate that focus and refocus it towards mixed martial arts, you're dealing with a very, very dangerous guy.
And he's a big, strong, athletic guy.
The way I fight with the leverage and stuff I use, strength never really came into play too many times. Tim Silva is stronger than I am. Tank Abbott was an extraordinarily powerful guy. Are they stronger than him? I don't know. You know, Tim's a pretty strong guy. But I mean, my hips versus his biceps. So, you know, the same thing. It's an old adage in jiu-jitsu. You see the guy weighs 120 pounds, arm bar, and a 200-pound guy. So now we'll be within 20 pounds of each other. So it's not that drastic.
I can just picture his eyeballs getting big as I dump him on his head, and he doesn't know where the hell he's at. And all of a sudden, I've got these fists in his mouth, buried down his throat, and I'll pull his head off. I just can't wait. It's going to be a great evening.